Whether this Omicron variant will outcompete Delta.
A new COVID variant has the U.S. preparing to ramp up its fight against the pandemic. Governor DeWine in Athens County today to promote improvements to the regional jail system.
We don't like spending money on jails. It's not a lot of fun to do that.
And in sports, Ohio women's basketball gears up for tonight's matchup against Florida A&M. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. I'm Madison Moore. A new coronavirus variant, Omicron, has the U.S. preparing for a new stage in the fight against the ongoing pandemic. As the newly discovered strand continues to spread, more countries are enacting travel restrictions, but scientists warn they need time to figure out just how concerning the variant really is. Isabel Rosales has the latest.
The U.S. is bracing for Omicron, but scientists urge preparation, not panic.
What we don't know is whether this Omicron variant will outcompete Delta.
The new coronavirus variant now found in a dozen countries, including Canada.
Sooner or later, we're going to see cases of this new variant here.
President Joe Biden doesn't believe shutdowns or lockdowns will be needed, but says the best protection against Omicron is a vaccine.
Do not wait. Go get your booster.
Scientists are racing to study just how dangerous it is.
What we do know, it has a lot of mutations, more than 50. That's a new record, and some of those we've seen before and some we haven't.
The World Health Organization deeming its risk as very high.
We don't have enough information about whether it's more transmissible, whether it's going to cause more severe disease, and critically, is it able to escape the effects of the vaccine?
A growing number of nations, and now the U.S., restricting travel from South Africa and neighboring countries.
You understand the point of the travel of the restriction, to give us time to get people to get protection, to be vaccinated and get the booster.
Others calling it a knee-jerk reaction.
It's outrageous that South Africa and Southern Africa is being punished for having good surveillance.
President Biden says he doesn't anticipate further travel restrictions. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
Yesterday, the Ohio Department of Health reported 4,245 new COVID cases and 94 additional hospitalizations. The 21-case average is at 5,026. Stay tuned. Later in the show, we'll touch on restrictions impacting Americans globally. The Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail in Nelsonville is set to receive nearly $2 million in grant money. Governor Mike DeWine spoke at jail today along with local officials as they hope to see much-needed improvements to the facility. Among other issues, DeWine spoke today about a need for increased focus on mental health and addiction treatment among inmates.
We don't like spending money on jails. It's not a lot of fun to do that. But if the criminal justice system is going to work the way it needs to work, all parts of it have to work, which means that the jail portion has to work as well. And also the opportunity that we have in our jails, in our facilities, to focus more on treatment, focus more on mental health challenges. I think we all know that we have to do that.
First Lady of Ohio, Fran DeWine, spoke today as well, highlighting her efforts to bring books to children aged 5 and younger through Dolly Parton's Imagination Library program. She sees reading at a young age as a way to prevent future incarceration. Ohio lawmakers are working on a plan to spend nearly $900 million from the American Rescue Plan Act. According to Ohio's House Speaker Bob Cupp, a proposal would allocate $300 million of the state's remaining federal dollars to nursing homes. Cupp says staff shortages have caused many issues around the state, but it was too early to discuss quality standards and base pay. The bill's sponsor said she would be open to exempting nursing home staff from vaccine mandates. This may not be allowed under federal rules.
Thank you, Madison. And looking at the weather right now, it's 35 degrees in Athens with partly cloudy skies, but those clouds are expected to increase overnight as we might see a chance for snow, believe it or not, and winds are coming from the southwest at 1 miles per hour. And looking across the region, temperatures are in the same range generally, mid to low 30s, with warm spots in Ironton, 36 degrees, Ripley at 35 degrees, as well as Marietta. A little bit cooler to our northeast, 33 degrees in New Martinsville, 34 degrees in Cambridge. Overall, partly cloudy skies all across the area. Looking at the week ahead, expect those clouds to linger and bringing along a chance for snow that we could see tomorrow overnight and into tomorrow morning. There's also a chance for snow heading early into next week, believe it or not, but expect for temperatures to begin to warm up as soon as Thursday. Madison?
Thanks, Erin. Authorities are investigating a fatal shooting and suicide in Athens County. The Marietta Times reports Athens County 911 received a call around 5 a.m. Friday, originating from a Millfield address on McDougall Road. Deputies entered the home through an open door where a man and woman were found dead. Sheriff Rodney Smith says there's evidence of a dispute where 40-year-old Jennifer Draper was killed by a single shotgun round. According to police, her live-in partner, 43-year-old Christopher Roach, then fatally shot himself. The incident remains under investigation. Portsmouth City Councilman accused of human trafficking has died. WSAZ reports Michael Meerman was taken to a hospital on Wednesday before dying due to undisclosed health complications on Friday. Meerman was charged with human trafficking and promoting prostitution in 2020. Prosecutors believe he created and exploited relationships within vulnerable women while representing them as an attorney. Meerman pled not guilty to all charges in court. He could have faced up to 70 years in prison if convicted. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources estimates over 300,000 hunters will participate in the week-long deer gun season beginning today and continuing until Sunday, December 5th. Bailey's Trail System in Athens County will be closed for the entire week as a matter of public safety, according to a representative from Wayne National Forest. The Bailey's Trail System will be closed to bikers, but foot traffic will be allowed so hunters can access the area. A violation of the order is punishable by a fine up to $5,000 or imprisonment up to 6 months or both. In 2020, Ohio hunters killed 92,000 white-tailed deer during gun season. Coming up, homicides are up in Columbus for the second year straight. Plus, an investigation sheds new light on the deadly 2019 mass shooting in Dayton. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
More than 100 million Americans suffer with chronic pain. Out of the blue, it can ruin lives and destroy relationships, but it doesn't have to be that way. The latest research shows that there's hope. With the revolutionary pain-brain connection, you can get your life back. Find out how to put advances in pain science to work for you. Join me, Deborah Roberts, for Pain Secrets, the science of everyday pain.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Hi, this is Marion Ross. Please join me and Gavin MacLeod in A Classic Christmas.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Mama, it's lovely when the boys sleigh ride together with you.
Coming up on the next Song of the Mountains.
The raindrops and hold back the sun. My world has ended. My baby's gone.
Am I rode by sound and my shoes are made for walking.
Lively performances where old tradition meets new. Here on Song of the Mountains.
Substantial, incisive, impartial. That's PBS NewsHour. For almost half a century, America's most trusted source for news and information. We'll explore how it all began, how it's endured through moments of joy and heartbreak, and why its integrity is still unmatched today. Join me, Danny Glover, for celebrating PBS NewsHour.
Authorities say they found a possible motive behind 2019's mass shootings in Dayton. The FBI released details from law enforcement's investigation today, finding that the shooter, Connor Betts, acted alone when he opened fire near a Dayton bar more than 2 years ago. Officials say Betts held a, quote, enduring fascination with mass violence for at least a decade before the shooting. Betts' sister and others were killed along with 27 others injured. Columbus is seeing a record number of homicides in the city for the second year straight. A fatal shooting on Friday marked this 179th homicide in Columbus for the year, passing last year's count of 177. A teenager was killed in a drive-by shooting in an East Side subdivision just 2 days earlier. Talks in Iran surrounding the country's nuclear program are back underway for the first time since the country's new president took power this past summer. The U.S. says Iran has moved closer to building a nuclear weapon since former President Donald Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal in 2018. According to the U.S. State Department, Iran is already operating way beyond internationally agreed upon levels of uranium enrichment. A foreign affairs spokesperson for the European Commission sees the talks as very important, saying it's, quote, crucial that all sides work swiftly to bring the deal back on track as soon as possible. The trial of Ghislaine Maxwell is underway 2 years after the jailhouse suicide of Jeffrey Epstein. Judge Allison Nathan swore in 12 jurors and 6 alternatives today before federal prosecutors gave their opening statement. They allege Maxwell was Epstein's accomplice in a sex trafficking conspiracy involving underage girls. The 59-year-old international socialite has denied any role in Epstein's crimes. Maxwell was arrested in July 2020 at a remote property in New Hampshire and is being held in a Brooklyn federal jail. She faces up to 70 years in prison if convicted on all 6 counts. And in Chicago, another trial beginning today with actor Jussie Smollett accused of lying about an alleged hate crime. Smollett arrived to court for the state of trials juror selection today. Back in January 2019, Smollett reported he was attacked by 2 men who yelled anti-gay and racist remarks, put a noose around his neck, and poured bleach on him. Authorities later accused the actor of paying 2 acquaintances to stage the attack to boost his career. Smollett denied the allegation. He was pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of disorderly conduct, and if found guilty, he faces up to 3 years in prison and a $25,000 fine for each charge. A warning from the Better Business Bureau going into holiday season. That story's still ahead.
And I'm tracking our next snow shower. This and more in my full forecast, but for now, let's take a look at stocks of local interest.
Alan Jackson.
This is my story.
Precious Memories, live at the Ryman.
Are you ours in the blood?
15 timeless songs recorded live at the Mother Church of Country Music.
When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
Alan Jackson, Precious Memories, live at the Ryman.
Coming up on the next Song of the Mountains.
The raindrops and hold back the sun. My world has ended. My baby's gone. Am I rode my sound and my shoes are made for walking.
Lively performances where old tradition meets new. Here on Song of the Mountains.
More than 100 million Americans suffer with chronic pain. Out of the blue, it can ruin lives and destroy relationships, but it doesn't have to be that way. The latest research shows that there's hope. With the revolutionary pain-brain connection, you can get your life back. Find out how to put advances in pain science to work for you. Join me, Deborah Roberts, for Pain Secrets, the science of everyday pain.
Substantial, incisive, impartial. That's PBS NewsHour. For almost half a century, America's most trusted source for news and information. We'll explore how it all began, how it's endured through moments of joy and heartbreak, and why its integrity is still unmatched today. Join me, Danny Glover, for Celebrating PBS NewsHour.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm your lead forecaster, Erin Ashley, and let's take a look at the skies right now above us. You can see that there's really not much happening above our region right now, and clouds have just pushed out towards the east a little bit, but this patch over Illinois right here, as it begins to push east, might cause a little bit of a chance for snow as early as tonight, especially for northern parts of our region, but this blue H right here, this high pressure system, is going to be the cause for those steady conditions that we've been seeing today, yesterday, and over the weekend as well. Looking at the hour by hour for tonight at 8 p.m., it's going to be 33 degrees and mostly cloudy. As we approach 10 p.m., that chance for snow in the northern parts of our area is going to appear, and that temperature is going to be at 32 degrees, so just at freezing, excuse me, and winds are going to pick up as we approach midnight, so expect a wind chill as low as 29 degrees. So as your temperature, even though it's 32 degrees, a wind chill of 29 degrees, it's going to be a lot chillier than what we might expect. That's also going to be the cause for some chances for snow, as our skies will remain mostly cloudy for the majority of the night. Winds come from the south direction at 0 to 5 miles per hour. And across the region, you can see right here, our northernmost areas are going to see that chance for snow. No snow is expected for the southernmost areas of our area, but temperatures are expected to be 34 degrees in Ironton, 33 degrees in Ripley, 33 degrees in Jackson, as well as Newark up here in the north, and temperatures are going to be cooler to our east, 31 degrees in Marietta, New Martinsville, and 32 degrees in Cambridge. Looking at the surface analysis for tomorrow, you can see that there is a warm front that is going to begin to push into our area, this way towards our area, and that's going to be that cause for chance for snow as we see tonight and as we see in the rest of the week as well. Looking at the hour by hour for tomorrow, we have a very chilly start, 37 degrees. That wind chill is going to be the main factor for that chilly start, actually. And so as we approach 10 a.m., it's going to increase to 40 degrees with clouds beginning to clear. But again, that wind chill is going to make things feel really, really chilly. So that temperature is going to feel like 45 degrees and actually be 50. Overall, it's going to be very pleasant with partly cloudy skies and winds going to be steady from the west direction, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And looking across the region, partly cloudy skies are expected for our entire viewing area, with warm spots being 54 degrees in Ironton, 52 degrees in Ripley, as well as Jackson, and it's going to be cooler to our northern regions, 47 degrees in Cambridge, New Martinsville, Newark, as well as Columbus. Here's a look at your week ahead. Expect those snow showers to impact the northern parts of our region as early as Wednesday morning, and so a chance for snow will appear again on Monday, a chance for mixed precipitation actually, so it could be rain or it could be snow, really just depends on if it's happening late at night or early in the morning. That's when you're going to see that chance for snow appear, but temperatures do rise as we head into the weekend. 60 degrees is the high for Thursday, 57 degrees is the high for Friday, and it's going to dip a little bit onto Saturday. Back to you, Madison.
Thanks, Erin. The Better Business Bureau is reminding Americans that scammers are ready for the holiday season. The Bureau recently released its list of top 12 scams of Christmas. They say criminals use emails and social media to assist most of the scams, but social media is where people are the most vulnerable. The list's top 3 scams can be found on social media platforms. They also point out scams that appear every year during the holidays, like fake charities, fake shipping notifications, and lookalike websites. The travel restrictions for the COVID-19 Omicron variant currently does not apply to U.S. citizens. Americans are free to travel home from the 8 African countries on the restricted travel list. However, many Americans are still having trouble getting home, and one American family is stranded in South Africa. Joe Fisher has the story.
It's been very confusing, and it just happened so fast.
Lauren Kennedy Brady is talking to us from her hotel room in Johannesburg, South Africa, where her family is holed up after a safari vacation and hoping for a flight home to Raleigh.
And we have spent the last 48 hours booking, rebooking for flights that are continually getting canceled, or they are not letting us on because we don't have a European passport.
From Cape Town to Victoria Falls, their 2-week vacation ended Friday, just as many countries started issuing travel bans because of the Omicron variant.
It's just really hard. The game keeps changing, and we're just trying to keep a level head and keep our patients intact.
Kennedy Brady, a well-known actress in the Triangle, says the airport is filled with frustrated passengers in the same situation.
Really long lines and lots of confusion and chaos.
Back in Raleigh, their loved ones are waiting.
Well, sure, Americans can come back, but the problem is Americans can't get back.
Alan Campbell says U.S. embassies and consulates have provided very little information.
If you're coming from South Africa, I think other countries are saying, at least at this point, until there's some kind of a protocol or agreement between countries about getting our citizens home, everybody's hands off, and it's just maybe something that's just going to take time.
The family's trip got canceled 2 times because of COVID. Now the virus is what's keeping them there.
I just have to keep telling myself I'm so grateful that we're together. You know, we have each other.
A life-changing vacation in the midst of an ever-changing pandemic. I'm Joe Fisher, WREL News.
Coming up in sports, the Ohio football and men's basketball teams had some Black Friday contests. Did they come out on top? We'll find out later on. And right after the break, the Ohio women's basketball team has a Cyber Monday primetime game. Will they be able to seal the deal? We'll preview it coming up. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your local public television station.
More than 100 million Americans suffer with chronic pain. Out of the blue, it can ruin lives and destroy relationships, but it doesn't have to be that way. The latest research shows that there's hope. With the revolutionary pain-brain connection, you can get your life back. Find out how to put advances in pain science to work for you. Join me, Deborah Roberts, for Pain Secrets, the science of everyday pain.
Coming up on the next Song of the Mountains.
The raindrops and hold back the sun. My world has ended. My baby's gone.
And I rode my sound and my shoes are made for walking.
Lively performances where old tradition meets new. Here on Song of the Mountains.
So, about that garage of yours. Lots of stuff in there, huh? If you want to make serious space, start with the biggest obstacle in sight. Donate that unwanted vehicle, and we'll put it toward more hours of your favorite programs on public television. You might even get a sweet tax deduction, along with space for that ping pong table. Give us a call to learn more. And thanks.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Hi, this is Marion Ross. Please join me and Gavin MacLeod in A Classic Christmas.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Hello again, I'm Ethan Sargent for sports. The Ohio women's basketball team retakes the court tonight after a 9-day hiatus to face the Florida A&M Rattlers. The Bobcats return after their 90-46 demolition of Mercyhurst on November 20th. Ohio rotated a lot in that game, with every player on the team getting at least 9 minutes of action in the win. This is a point of emphasis for Coach Bob Bolden, as he says his team has plenty to work on heading into their long Thanksgiving break. And unfortunately, we can't play that press conference due to some technical difficulties, but Bob Bolden talked about how he wants the defense to improve considerably, but they had the time during that break to be able to work on it and fix the defense. Ohio's football season is unfortunately over. The Bobcats ended it with a whimper on Friday, losing 21-10 to Bowling Green at Deutsch-Perry Stadium. Ohio took an early lead in the second quarter after an 86-yard drive was capped off by a 1-yard Armani Rogers touchdown. But the Bobcats went into the locker room, tied at half thanks to an Austin Osborne touchdown catch. BG dominated in the second half as they held Ohio scoreless and even picked up a safety, Ohio's third of the year. Tim Albin said the Falcons' defense was key to Bowling Green's success.
Tip my hat to Bowling Green, particularly on defense. We were out with him offensively the whole game. Yes. Defense kept us in the game. One-score game with 7 minutes to go, and we just could not consistently move the ball.
The Ohio men's basketball team took care of business Friday as they defeated Division II Concordia 88-68. The Bobcats went into the halftime down by 7, but put up 58 points in the second half to pull away from the Cardinals. Miles Brown had 19 points and 6 rebounds for Ohio in one of his best performances of the season. And Jason Carter had 16 points and 7 rebounds in another efficient performance for the 6-year senior. The Bobcats shot just 31% from the field, including just 3 of 19 from three-point range in the first half, but improved to 58% in the second half. Ohio had 5 double-digit scorers, while Thomas Hronis had 23 points off the bench in a spirited effort for the Cardinals, and Bernard Casanda had 14 points and 4 rebounds. The Bobcats head down to Baton Rouge Wednesday to take on the LSU Tigers in another early season test. Speaking of Bayou Bengals, a few of them showed out at Paul Brown Stadium on Sunday as the Cincinnati Bengals dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers 41-10. Joe Burrow had an efficient day, completing 20 of 24 pass attempts for 190 yards, as well as this rushing score, as the Bengals relied on the run game down the stretch. Joe Mixon has one of his best games in a Bengal uniform as he carried the rock 28 times for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Bengals offensive line manhandled TJ Watt and the Steeler front all day long. Former Steeler Mike Hilton got one over on his former quarterback here as he picks off Big Ben to seal an emphatic first half. The Bengals were up 31-3. Bengals have won 2 straight after their bye, and they hold on to the 5th overall seed in the AFC. They head into a big matchup against the Chargers next week, while the Steelers are reeling, and they head home to take on the Ravens. That's all for sports. Back over to you, Madison.
Thanks, Ethan. Merriam-Webster has picked the one word it believes represents 2021, and that word is vaccine. Today, the published announcement, vaccine, is its official 2021 word of the year. Merriam-Webster says the choice highlights the dual discussions surrounding vaccines this year, how the COVID-19 vaccine was seen as both a promising medical solution and a source of political argument and division. They know online searches for the definition of vaccine jumped 601% between 2020 and 2021. This is the second year Merriam-Webster has made a coronavirus-influenced pick. Pandemic was its 2020 word of the year. Merriam-Webster also released a list of the 10 runner-ups to the word of the year. That list included politically charged words like insurrection, woke, and infrastructure. Now over to Erin with weather.
Thank you, Madison. And I'll remind you about that temperature tomorrow. It's going to be 50 degrees, but that wind chill is going to make it feel like 45 degrees. So make sure you bring out a jacket if you have any morning plans. Overall, it's going to be very pleasant with partly cloudy skies across the majority of the region. Temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s across the entire viewing area. Here's a look at your week ahead. Expect a chance for rain and snow, in fact, as soon as tonight. Back to you, Madison.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Madison Moore. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find
Support comes from Dean Heating and Cooling. Stay warm this winter with energy-efficient TempStar heating. Dean Heating and Cooling provides HVAC services and installation in the Athens area, featuring TempStar quality you can feel. Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies in Athens and Parkersburg, focusing on helping people achieve a life well lived with a custom strategy.